So I could
still use the same 100-year-old technology. This creative engineer called dirty electricity that adds up fast to your bill. But I'll show you a system that clean the circuit. It's totally legal. You don't have to use
Is a trolling device for making fun of liberals and political correctness. Most of all, Keck has become a kind of a tribal marker of Anonymous. Its meaning obscure and unavailable to ordinary people, the normies. Anons claim to believe that Keck is using 4chan's memes as a vessel to spread his message and usher in a new era of light via chaos magic. One of the core tenets of chaos magic practice is the creation of magic sigils, also known as glyphs, to codify and project one's will into the universe. Basically, you make an image that represents your will, and the universe will take care of the rest. When a lot of people pool their united willpower towards a single sigil, it's called a hyper-sigil, and it's exponentially more potent. As mentioned, Pepe Keck is 4chan's hyper-sigil. Millions of the Anons that browse 4chan have embedded the image of Pepe with their hatred for Hillary's corruption, and their hope for Trump's victory over her for the presidency. Whether they did this consciously or not, it's exactly what happened.
This is not republicanism as we have known it. These are racist ideas, race-baiting ideas, anti-Muslim, anti-immigrant, anti-women, all key tenets making up the emerging racist ideology known as the alt-right.
What was that? That was Hillary Clinton's speech a few weeks ago denouncing the self-proclaimed alt-right and their support of Donald Trump and Donald Trump's campaign cultivating that support. You remember the speech, you remember the whole discussion around that, but there was this one weird heckling moment in that speech. Here it is again.
All key tenets making up the emerging racist ideology known as the alt-right.
So it's not like an applause moment or like a booing moment or whatever, it's quiet. Everybody's listening to what she says. As soon as she says that phrase, alt-right, some guy yells out from the crowd, Pepe! And to most people, that was a totally inexplicable thing at the moment. It must be totally random. To be white supremacist, anti-Semitic, neo-Nazi right in this country, that guy yelling that out in that moment, that was a moment of triumph. That was the most hilarious thing they've ever heard in their lives. So it's weird. It's deliberately weird. It's meant to be an unmistakable symbol that won't blend in anywhere, but you always know what it means. This problem, they've taken over. Started as an anodyne thing. They've taken it
Internet. Soon Paul's users were, quite ironically at first, attributing all strokes of luck for the Trump campaign, and likewise all strokes of misfortune for the Hillary campaign, to their benevolent frog-headed deity. But all of that came to a head on September the 11th, 2016, when three major mind-blowing events transpired within 48 hours of each other. Three events that would change the face of Keck worship forever. The first event was Hillary Clinton fainting in New York. The second event that happened hours later was that the Clinton campaign mistakenly declared Pepe a public enemy by putting out an explainer article trying to accuse Pepe and Trump of white supremacy, a grave misunderstanding of online counterculture. Until then, Pepe had been a harmless meme on the mainstream internet. Sudden demonization by the Clinton campaign endowed the cult with remarkable legitimacy. As then the same day, Donald Trump Jr. famously tweeted a picture of Pepe as part of the deplorables.
I think for us that Democrats, like Maria, will probably cite things like this to prove their point. Donald Trump Jr., for example, he put this image on his Instagram account. It's a meme of Pepe, and for those of you who don't know, Pepe is a white nationalist symbol.
The overwhelming sentiment of Paul, still reeling from the event, is captured 2 days later in this post entitled, "Stop, Please." I didn't believe in the magic at first. I thought you were all joking. Then Trump won his first primary, and I thought, that's a coincidence. Then he became the candidate, and I thought things were getting weird. Now Hillary is getting sick, and the media is talking about Pepe. It's clear as day your memes are fucking with the fabric of reality. Stop, please. I beg you. You're fucking with powers you don't understand. If you keep this up, you could meme us all out of existence. 2 weeks later, the Anti-Defamation League classified Pepe the Frog as a hate symbol. While all of this was occurring, the third event happened. One of a few anonymous 4chan contributors discovered an old track from the 1980s on YouTube. A track stamped all over with a very familiar face. That's right, folks. A B-side vinyl by performer Pepe, sporting a frog with a magic wand. A frog. Chatelet has now become the national anthem of Kyrgyzstan. But soon the Kyrgyzstanis, a proud people, would be challenged by a celebrity enemy of Donald Trump. A challenge that was accepted.
It's sort of like that thing they did with Shia LaBeouf when he had that website.
Yeah, where Jay got
He would not place or he would not divide us.
Yeah. Because it was like 4 batteries. It was the most brilliant thing that anyone's ever done to weaponize autism. Yeah. It was amazing.
The folks of 4chan systematically trolls with Shia LaBeouf and his He Will Not Divide Us art protest project. The project first started with LaBeouf setting up a webcam in New York. It was supposed to be a permanent live feed for the duration of Trump's presidency, one where people could look into the camera and chant the saying, "He will not divide us." This obviously did not end well. It got pretty heated. Several times the actor screamed in the face of Trump supporters.
Is that no speaker? The speaker's up. Oh shit.
Boy, that escalated quickly. I mean, that really got out of hand fast.
It jumped up a notch.
It did, didn't it?
This all culminated in LaBeouf being arrested and charged with assault and harassment. The non-stop bullshit surrounding his art project seemingly got to some people, and it was shut down by the Museum of the Moving Image in Queens, where it was located. Shia, ever the trooper, carried on with a new He Will Not Divide Us project, but instead of vanquishing the trolls, he started the most intense game of Capture the Flag ever. This was covered in a legendary video series by the Internet Historian YouTube channel.
After defeat on the battlefields of New York and New Mexico, Shia headed to a new hidden location. No more chanting or interaction. This latest exhibit would just be a flag waving arrogantly in front of a camera. There were no landmarks, no scenery, no clues at all to its whereabouts. It would be impossible to find, and nothing could stop the broadcast. Checkmate. And this would allow Shia to act smug for the next 4 to 8 years. That is, unless Paul's agents could find a way to track it down. Challenge accepted. It was to be the greatest game of Capture the Flag ever. Paul began organizing. They set about gathering all the information they could on the local environment, trying to match up cloud, wind patterns, and ambient noise. Because it was a live stream, they could match the time of sunset, quickly discern that the flag was somewhere in the Eastern time zone. That's 2/3 of the country ruled out in one move. Others began looking into intel about Shia's whereabouts, as it was highly likely that he was present for the raising of the flag itself. As time went on, distinct noises could be heard in the background, the croaking of frogs, suggesting water nearby. Then, the second big break. In the distance, just faintly, 2 jet streams. Paul quickly opened a live feed of all of the air traffic across the eastern seaboard. But identifying these 2 lines, amongst all of this, would be a challenge. Meanwhile, social media trackers found this post. At a small town diner in Tennessee, this waitress couldn't help but brag about her run-in with Shia. It was another big break. TMZ also reported that Shia had been seen fly fishing in the area. The search was closing in on a 2 more planes would soon be flying overhead. If they could be spotted on the live stream, Paul would have confirmation. Bingo. To further narrow down the search area, the aviation team started charting all of the flight paths of spotted planes. But they still needed more information, and as day turned to night, they got it. Paul's astronomy division used the constellations to narrow down the angle and rough position of the camera. With this, the flight paths, and some advanced trigonometry, the candidate area had been reduced way down. Further confirmation from weather satellites backed up the claim as an agent was dispatched to the scene. As he grew close, he started honking the horn, while viewers of the live stream gave feedback as it got louder. A few minutes later, target sighted. But he couldn't just get in during broad daylight and risk Shia's wrath. Instead, he had to wait for the close of night. In the meanwhile, Paul got to work devising an infiltration strategy. A few hours later, the flag came down, and the MAGA hat and shirt went up. It was a beautiful moment, and it all took place on the live stream. Paul's Central Intelligence Agency had clocked Quinn Season 3 in 38 hours and 14 minutes, and poor Shia was divided for a 3rd time. Could he ever recover? Could this be the end?
In September of 2015, users of the internet site 4chan started a campaign against the Islamic State. At the start of spring 2016, the Syrian war was as intense as ever, and the Syrian regime, ISIS, rebel groups, but also the United States and Russian military, were all still actively involved in the complex conflict. In the vast desert, rebel positions were often hard to locate. Sometimes, however, you just have to let the internet do its magic. This is the story of how 4chan forum members came together to locate a rebel base in Syria and coordinated an airstrike with the Russian military. The story starts on May 30th, 2016, when a user shared a YouTube video on a rebel training camp in northern Hama in Syria. The user called upon SG to help find the exact location of the base in the video. SG refers to Syria General, a 4chan board discussing many topics about Syria. Quickly after the original post, many 4chan members joined the search and uncovered very detailed information about the site. The first thing that they pointed out were the power lines visible in the distance. One user provided a blueprint with detailed measurements, which gave the members a good base to start searching with. They then estimated the size of the structure so that they could get a sense of distance. After scouting out other structures in the video, comparing structures and their respective distances in Google Earth and the video, they eventually found a location that had to be the rebel base. Another user who helped in the search shared their findings with a Twitter user named Ivan Sidorenko, who is a friend of Russia's Ministry of Defense, and who can call in airstrikes. To the surprise of the 4chan members, it did not take long for Ivan Sidorenko to share the information with the command of the Russian military in Syria. Just hours later, Russian forces conducted an airstrike on the exact positions shared by the 4chan members.
On the 30th of May 2016, Paul's SG helped Russia strike terrorists in Syria. We found new rebel training video on YouTube, and so we decided to locate it on Google Earth. Rebel training camp in northern Hama. Can we find it, SG? There is a power grid visible in the video it related. There are 2 videos of the camp. Does anyone know what's the height of these power grids, so I could calculate the distance from the mast to the camp with that info? And the images RBC says that is something around 100 to 150 foot. Maybe 40 meters is a good guess. I found this place but still verify. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Start north of the tower. 2, 3. This is starting to look promising. Yes, this might be it. Though maybe this might be the break we have been looking for. Are we heroes now? Another take from the same angle. 5 leaves. 5 lines.
Yo, doggy.
Pretty certain that's the spots and one send it to my Bingo sent this in line the village.
Back at it with another lay back. There's one simple way to have it.
That's what.
Yes, you probably need to sit in my fucking door.
Yeah, I got a bunch of boiling water that's got your name on it, doggy. If you don't leave, you're gonna get. I'll just call the police. I won't kill you. I mean, just be nice. Just be nice, bro. You don't know when you're in trouble right now. Like, you're in danger right now. Stop it.
But anytime you go this or that. Bro, this is my shit. I'm trying to
A simple act. This is but I'm fucking scared. Get fucking these ones. Now go. I urge you to stop what you're doing. Yeah, well, that's all accountability.
Another airstrike.
Yeah.
Ivan is a friend of Russia's Ministry of Defense who can call an experts on terrorists. Ivan responded, "Hey, I think we found the right place this time. What's the coordinates? Never mind, I got them. Let us know if that is the right spot and sure looks like it. Don't threaten. He confirmed it's happening now. Holy Trump did it. Long live. The old country right now just waiting for the news. There's a ton of we killed some terrorists on the internet today. I fucking love it.
Russia says it struck 10 more ISIL targets in Syria after vowing to step up its aerial bombardments. The terrorist training camp and a suicide belt factory were among the sites hit, according to defense officials. Moscow says its aim is to weaken the so-called Islamic State militants.
I got juice for the minutes.
As of like the year 2016, WikiLeaks published emails from Hillary Clinton's private email server. Along with a huge series of email dumps from her campaign chairman, John Podesta's account. Some of the correspondence was deemed classified and
Nobody can get that juice except way for
law. In July 2016,
Yeah, you're not. You don't have any pressure. If you're listening, I hope you're able to find what is it, 1,000 emails that are missing. So that's a threat. I think you will probably be rewarded. I'm being weird.
Julian Assange essentially confirmed that it was a 27-year-old DNC staffer named Seth Rich has leaked the DNC emails to WikiLeaks, which was blamed for Russian hackers. On the 10th of July 2016, Seth Rich was shot to death in what authorities described as a botched robbery attempt. Even though his phone, wallet, or Rolex were not stolen, Seth was found lying on the ground a block from his apartment with 2 bullet holes in his back. It was most likely an assassination by MS-13 gang members.
There's something clearly happening here. The Destroy Trump media, the Democrats, they have been pushing that Russian tin-foil hat conspiracy theory with zero evidence. For example, earlier today on Capitol Hill, former CIA Director John Brennan was asked about Russia collusion. Take a look.
I encountered and am aware of information intelligence that revealed contacts and interactions between Russian officials and U.S. persons involved in the Trump campaign that I was concerned about because of known Russian efforts to suborn such individuals. And it raised questions in my mind, again, whether or not the Russians were able to gain the cooperation of those individuals. I don't know whether or not such collusion, that's your term, such collusion existed. I don't know. But I know that there was a sufficient basis of information and intelligence that required further investigation.